Emily and her family recently moved to a quaint suburban neighborhood. They were excited about their new beginning and the possibilities their new home presented. The house was charming, with a spacious backyard adorned with vibrant flowers and lush greenery. On a sunny afternoon, Emily decided to explore the garden, hoping to find hidden treasures and secrets. While meandering through the backyard, Emily stumbled upon an old, weathered garden gnome partially buried under a blooming rosebush. The gnome was covered in dirt, and its eerie, cracked smile sent shivers down her spine. Despite its unsettling appearance, Emily felt a strange compulsion to clean it up. She meticulously scrubbed the grime off the gnome and placed it proudly on the porch. Unbeknownst to Emily, the gnome harbored a dark past. It once belonged to an old witch who used it to cast powerful spells. The witch was feared and revered throughout the town for her mysterious abilities. After her passing, the gnome was buried in the garden, where it absorbed the witch's malevolent energy. Over time, the gnome became a vessel of her lingering curse, waiting for an unsuspecting soul to unearth it. Soon after the gnome's arrival, strange occurrences began to plague the household. The once vibrant flowers withered overnight, small animals disappeared without a trace, and an unsettling feeling of unease settled over the house. Emily began to experience vivid nightmares featuring the gnome, and her younger brother Timmy started talking to it as if it were alive. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that the gnome was responsible for the bizarre happenings. Determined to uncover the truth, she scoured the house for clues. Her search led her to the attic, where she discovered a hidden diary that belonged to the previous homeowner. The diary detailed the gnome's sinister origins and its connection to the witch. According to the diary, the gnome possessed the power to manipulate time and reality within the house, feeding off the fear it generated. Desperate to break the curse, Emily sought help from the town's local historian, Mr. Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins was known for his extensive knowledge of the town's history and its supernatural lore. When Emily approached him, he listened intently to her story and examined the diary. His expression grew grave as he realized the gravity of the situation. Hawkins explained that the only way to lift the curse was to destroy the gnome in a ritual involving moonlight and a circle of protection made from salt and sage. He warned Emily that the gnome would likely resist, using its powers to create hallucinations and manipulate the environment to prevent its destruction. Emily knew the task ahead would be arduous, but she was determined to free her family from the gnome's malevolent influence. On a moonlit night, Emily and her family prepared for the ritual. They gathered the necessary ingredients and formed a circle of protection around the gnome. As they began the ritual, the gnome sensed its impending doom and unleashed a torrent of hallucinatory visions. The house seemed to warp and shift, turning their surroundings into a nightmarish labyrinth. The air grew thick with an oppressive darkness, and whispers echoed through the halls. The family struggled to maintain their focus, relying on their bond and courage to push through the gnome's illusions. Emily led the chant, her voice steady and unwavering, despite the terror that threatened to engulf her. Timmy clung to her side, his small hands clutching the salt and sage as he mirrored her movements. Their parents reinforced the circle, their determination fueling the protective barrier against the gnome's dark magic. The gnome fought fiercely, its sinister grin twisting into a scowl as it tried to break free from the circle's confines. The atmosphere grew tense, and the air crackled with malevolent energy, but Emily and her family stood resolute, their unity strengthening the ritual's power. After a harrowing confrontation, they managed to destroy the gnome, breaking the curse that had plagued their home. The atmosphere lightened, and a sense of peace and tranquility washed over the household. The once dark and oppressive ambiance was replaced with warmth and light. As a precaution, they decided to bury the remains of the gnome deep in the woods, far from any home. They hoped to prevent anyone else from falling victim to its sinister influence. Together, they ventured into the forest, finding a secluded spot to lay the gnome to rest. They covered the shattered porcelain remnants with earth and marked the location with sage and salt, ensuring the curse would remain buried. Emily and her family returned to their home, the weight of the curse lifted from their shoulders. They could finally enjoy their new beginning, free from fear and darkness. The garden flourished once more, and the sense of unease was replaced with joy and laughter. The gnome's curse had tested their strength and unity, but it had also brought them closer together. They had faced their fears and emerged victorious, their bond unbreakable. Emily's determination and courage had saved her family, and they were grateful for the peace they had fought so hard to achieve. As the days passed, the nightmares ceased, and Timmy no longer spoke to invisible entities. The house was filled with light and love, and the family thrived in their new environment. They knew that the gnome's dark past could not touch them anymore, and they were ready to embrace their future with hope and optimism. The tale of the cursed gnome became a legend in the neighborhood, a story passed down through generations. Emily and her family were known as the brave souls who had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. Their story served as a reminder of the power of unity and courage in the face of adversity. Emily often reflected on their ordeal, grateful for the lessons it had taught her. She knew that they had overcome the curse together, and their bond was stronger than ever. The gnome's sinister influence had been vanquished, and their home was a sanctuary of peace and happiness. In the end, the gnome's curse had been a test of their strength and resilience, and they had triumphed. Emily and her family had forged a new beginning, free from fear and darkness, and they looked forward to the bright future that lay ahead. A few years passed before a new family moved into a house not too far away in the same neighborhood. As they were unpacking their things in the driveway, they were greeted by their neighbors across the street who were outside having a yard sale. The new family ventured over to the sale to introduce themselves when their youngest came upon an item the family having the sale didn't remember ever placing out in the yard. It was a garden gnome that looked like it had been broken into pieces and glued back together. If you enjoyed this short spooky story, like and subscribe for more videos.